All right, so so my yeah, my so my mom breastfed me. She says for about 6 months, and then peer pressure made her stop, or something like that. But what was I going to say about that? But apart from her, her stories, I never saw or knew of anybody who breastfed before I started to. So I, my mom was very supportive in many other ways. In fact, she was able to assist me for the first month after giving birth. She came and basically came from Michigan to Baltimore, no, not Baltimore, but DC, where I was living at the time, and came and stayed with me and my husband for a whole month, the first month. And basically she just took care of everything except for the breastfeeding part. She cooked, she cleaned, she held him while I took naps. Like, it was the best. And I didn't even realize how lucky I was to have her there during that time, because so many mothers and families are without any type of village, any type of support in that first month, and that can make the really a very huge impact on a parent's ability to breastfeed and to get through those trials and tribulations that often come up in the first month. So I'm very grateful that she was around at that time. But apart from her providing that assistance, it was just me and the Lactation League book, The Womanly Art of Breastfeeding, that really carried me through those first few weeks. And luckily the pain didn't get so bad that I gave up. So that's just a little bit about my story. I do in some ways consider myself lucky, because my situation was not perfect. Back then, 20 years ago, they had so many policies that were not supportive of breastfeeding. Like in the hospital, they didn't have lactation consults in the hospital, at least not readily available, because I never saw or got anything from even a nurse that with the breastfeeding. I don't know, they knew I was breastfeeding. They tracked his weight and everything, and made sure he was pooping and peeing and all that other stuff, but no one like checked my latch or anything like that. So that part just worked out. But yeah, the policies then were, as soon as baby's born, you give birth, they don't do immediate skin to skin, which is what commonly happens in the hospitals now, unless there's something going on with the mom or baby that will prevent that immediate skin to skin. But in that time, no one knew that immediate skin to skin was helped initiate breastfeeding more readily. So back then, as soon as baby was born, they put them on the little warming bassinet unit, whatever it's called, and they did all the checks. They wiped the baby down. They put the ointment in the baby's eyes. All the checks on the baby they would do for the first 15-20 minutes, and then they would wrap the baby up in the blanket, in the onesie, not a onesie, in a swaddle blanket. Hand the baby over to mom, like, okay, take, you got it now. And so that's what they did, and I said okay, and I proceeded to try to latch him on, and he latched on quite well, I guess. Good enough that he didn't lose weight in the hospital, at least not enough for them to be concerned. He was pooping and peeing, so I guess he was getting enough milk, but I was literally putting him on the breast like every time he cried. Funny side story is that I was actually, the hospital that I gave birth in, they had 2 women in the room together, not the birth, but postpartum. And so I was in the room with this other mom, and her baby was not in the room with her. And the reason why, I suspect, is I guess they did have rooming in, because my son, he never left my side. He was there the whole time. But her baby wasn't, because she was having like really bad epidural headache, spinal headache. I guess they didn't really know it was a spinal headache until like 2 days later, and I had to listen to this poor mom moan and groan like all day night because she was in so much pain. So they had her baby in the special, in the like NICU or whatever, because she couldn't take care of him. She was in so much so much pain, and doctors coming in and out, and finally after like the second day, like, we think it's because of the epidural you had, and we have to patch up that hole that we jacked you up, and they took her into surgery and patched up the hole, and then she was like just like a totally different person. Like, she was like, hi, hello, hey, how are you? Like, she just like woke up again. Or I would say she was resurrected from the dead almost, because she was in so much pain. But during that time when she was in all this agonizing pain, I felt so bad every time my son would cry, and so I would just put him to the breast, like basically just shut him up, because I didn't want him crying and make her headaches worse. So I guess it worked because, like I said, he gained appropriate weight, he got enough milk. My nipples were sore AF, but eventually we got through it. And again, with the help of my mom, all I had to do was focus on him and on healing from the birth, and we got through the first month, and then it was pretty much smooth sailing from then on, except for when I had to wean him. And that's a whole nother story for another day, another video. But hopefully you gleaned some insight about breastfeeding. Of course, everybody's story and journey is different. I'm not going to go into my daughter's story because it's I think it might be actually more interesting than the first one, just because my first one wasn't all that crazy, but it probably needs its own time, and so we'll leave it at that. We'll just, but yeah, hopefully you will have gained some inspiration or insight about breastfeeding, and maybe have get a sense of like what you might imagine your breastfeeding journey. How do you imagine your breastfeeding journey going? I want you to try to visualize what you want. That can go a long way of getting you there. So if you are thinking good thoughts about it and are projecting a nice outcome, it's more likely that you're going to get that outcome, right? Of course, maybe with some of that support and guidance that you may need. But yeah, visualize what you want your breastfeeding journey to look like, beginning, middle, end, and tell me in the comments. If you haven't started breastfeeding, if you're pregnant, let us know, like, what do you envision your breastfeeding journey looking like? And if you are already breastfeeding, you can let us know as well. How do you wish the rest of your breastfeeding journey? How do you wish for it to go from now until whatever your goal is to stop? Love to hear in the comments what you think. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the Milk Moxie channel, and share with your friends if you know anybody who might be interested in what we're discussing here. Again, it's all about having confidence and having the courage, the confidence, the energy, the motivation to breastfeed, whatever that looks like for you, and however long that is for you. Doing it with ease and with confidence, that's what Milk Moxie is all about. So if you're about that life, then go ahead and subscribe, hit that notification bell, so you'll know when the next time I drop a video. And yeah, I hope this was cool for you. Thanks for listening, watching and listening, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye. Wow.
Bye.